most of the CRM, I would say, which is generic CRMs, are mostly worried about just dealing with the prospecting aspect of it.
But absolutely true.
Customer 360 has been overrated thing. Like asking, I think the one term in the last 10 years it's been overrated is that CRM is equivalent to customer 360. That's like overrated. You would need a CRM which is Gen AI powered, which can infer this, which can basically understand your customer conversation across the board.
How is the cost going up? Because now CRMs are available at $9 a user, $10 a user, right? To that, and if you have to build these integrations behind it, make it super smart, available in our, do you think the cost of it, like the cost of ownership of a CRM is going to be so high that you'd rather keep everything in Excel? Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Ramesh.
Hey, what's going on?
I mean, you know what? I think in the last one we spoke about rice in India quite a bit.
Yeah.
Why we are. It's the best time to be in India.
$37 trillion of market cap or of GDP.
And all that. Great things about being in India. And you see, the kind of attention India is getting with all the event. Probably this is one of the biggest events I'm heard about in India. The idea, it's the whole or the Ram. What do you think about it?
The drama at Ramjanmabhoomi.
Yeah,
that's a marketing campaign which is probably unbeaten in the history of campaigns. Forget the religion or anything that comes. Forget even India. Probably the largest. It's bigger than an election campaign. It's bigger than Uttar Pradesh election campaign. It's something that got the entire India hooked onto. Voters, non-voters, it doesn't care. Right? It had all the beautiful ingredients, right, of a marketing campaign. Right? It had a narrative. It had the brand that Prime Minister Modi is, is reinstating Rama at his lost home. Right? It had influencer marketing. It had all the influencers, the top brass of who's who of India attending the event. It had performance marketing, obviously, because it had, it had the whole idea of getting the entire city ready in less than 18 months ever since the judgment came in. And talk about distribution.
Yeah,
every person in my WhatsApp group has spoken about it. It's reached to every phone number, probably 1.4 billion people's phone number. Maybe forget the children, but that's how has been the reach. Door-to-door campaign. How big, how grand a campaign can it get? I'm not necessarily commenting on the outcome of it. I mean, or the cause for this campaign, but it's bigger than an Indian democratic election campaign, I would think. So it's all about sales and marketing at the highest level. If you think about it, every country is marketing and selling their country to others, right? In the highest order.
Do you think this has a good chance to be the case study in all the B schools and startups?
If you're and my kids are not going to be studying this, then the B schools are doing something wrong. I think it's going to be a part of every Harvard, Stanford, any business school under the sun. I think this marketing campaign as the Ramjanmabhoomi, the slogan, it's beyond, right? I mean,
no, I just take a step back. Right? It's just if I leave the content, let's leave the content. But how when this orchestrated?
Oh yeah,
I can see the planning done for months.
It's an integrated campaign, right? It's it had the essence of how do I look at building new buildings outside, and then you have it integrated with saying this is a new home for the Lord, right? So it's integrated in complete sense. So it's a great campaign, and like I said, every nation will now start learning how to market and sell their nation to others. Right?
Yeah, I always surprised if the next all-in-one pod talks about this. Talks about how big an event. Yeah, people ask.
Yeah, I hope Chamath is listening to our podcast. It's a recommendation. I would love to know how the world is seeing us at this point in time. So it's all about sales and marketing.
Awesome. Welcome to. With that, let's just get into the pod.
This is Shivatsan and Ramesh bringing to you yet another episode of Reset to Zero. This is powered by iPerformer, and today we are going to talk. We obviously spoke about sales and marketing. So in the world of sales and marketing, right? You've been so active on Twitter, right? I don't know how much of product development you do, but definitely more active on Twitter.
More on
marketing and sales.
Yeah.
In that case, again, But very interestingly, right, you responded to Jason Fried's tweet.
Yeah.
And Jason says in his tweet, I'm fascinated by how many people continue to ask us to build a CRM, right? There are so many CRMs out there, so many that do so many things. Jason says, I'm fascinated by how many people continue to ask us to build a CRM. There are so many CRMs out there that do so many things, the contacts, pipeline, conversation history, and so on and so forth. And he drops in a hint there and says that's obviously a hint. More isn't what people are looking for. So we surely understand what Jason's hint is all about. To which Austin says, very aptly so, too many CRMs out there are sales pipeline focused. There needs to be a CRM for customers. So customer relationship management is probably being rechristened sales pipeline management, STM instead of CRM. What do you think?
I think, in fact, Ramesh, I would. Jason is just trying to, try to basically get people excited about their next product. I think they just, they just launched
That's very obvious.
the ones which is basically on-prem option of F5 Camp, right? Now they're trying to basically seed it, they're trying to pitch it. But what exciting is that, the comment made by Austin, right, where he says that, hey, most of the CRM, there are way too many CRM. Now, Ramesh, you've been part of multiple CRM launches yourself. I've built CRM now, have seen the growth as well. But most of the CRMs, including things which we have seen in the past and we will see in the future as well, right? Most of them are focused on helping to build sales pipeline, which means that their focus is only about prospecting. Correct? Right? Most of the CRM, I would say, which is generic CRMs, are mostly worried about just dealing with the prospecting aspect of it.
But absolutely true.
So that's where the problem starts. I think after a point, adoption of the CRM goes down, because none of the rest of the customer-facing teams don't really get excited about using the CRM because it doesn't really truly stand as a system of record of your business. Right? I know you're smiling. Most of the CRMs say or claim they are customer 360.
That's right. That's exactly what I was getting to.
Yeah, that's been t-shirt. People do start with saying that we are customer 360, but
is it even possible to build a customer 360 generic CRM applicable for all businesses?
It's very much possible, right? But it is complex, can get more and more complex as you get into doing it. But what is definitely feasible is that customer 360 has been overrated term. Like asking I think the one term in the last 10 years it's been overrated is that CRM is equivalent to customer 360. That's like overrated.
Mm-hmm.
But asking your question, what is possible, right? If you basically keep the customer as your center of the CRM and drive for adoption of the CRM across all customer-facing roles, which includes sales.
Yeah.
But should be extended to, the customer support, customer success, across the board, anybody and everybody, including partners. And then you basically truly make the CRM as a system of record.
We're bringing in a very, very important part. But before we delve into that, we're always looking at software in itself as siloed. When I say sales and marketing software, right? Let's say you said no CRM is putting the customer in focus. They are putting the sales pipeline in focus. Right?
Yes.
Every CRM, right? And very true. Like I've used the Google Zipper version. It was for Greeting back in the day. I've used Salesforce. I've used other CRMs as well in the market that you built. But you're also saying that when you have to put the customer,
yes.
Mind also says that you need a separate software for that, right? So which is a customer support sales and customer support software. Now, we are probably, because there are multiple of them, right? There are way too many, right? So use cases are very customer focused. Whereas in a customer support software, the use case for a customer relationship management, which is a CRM software, is very different. That sales, this is customer. Why has that even occurred?
That's a problem, right? Now, when you explain, that's the exact problem we're talking about. Now, CRM is looked at as a tool for sales. And over the years, the last 10 to 20 years, it has evolved into a prospecting tool. If you look at the CRMs today, they will have features which would basically help them send email, would have features to make them calls. But that is not the purpose of the CRM in essence, because as a result of that, they do a lot of automation part. It is basically a bunch of features which are sales enablement features, right? Sales, personnel or the roles enablement features. Then if you look at like 2 years back, when CRM started coming in, they basically were system of records. The objective was to basically understand how my business is doing. Right. Is it doing well? What is the new business? What is my forecast? And also want to understand how many salespeople are there, how are they doing well, right? Fair enough. And then as and when it got a new functions like customer support, didn't exist even 20 years back. Yeah, right? The customer success didn't even exist as a function like 10 years back. So the CRM haven't evolved. Instead, there are point solutions. There are point solutions for, the customer success. Now, customer success itself is becoming a suite of customer success tools. Like one could be ticketing, another could be chat. I don't know how much of them is going to be relevant, from here in about 10 years. Yeah. All the AI stuff. But what has happened is that all of these things becoming more specialized or point solutions, losing the artifact of customer. So now the customer is siloed, right? And it just doesn't mean that if I just have a customer record updated across these 3 or 5 systems, it doesn't mean I have a CRM unified. Absolutely. Then every member has to use it. And the CRM, a true CRM should help be able to collaborate within these roles. Yeah. Which is not happening, right? Today, it is just updating a record, right? Hey, the ticketing system will say that, I have updated the record, right? That's all. I hear you. Not actually what you don't keep the customer in center anymore. Right? In the pecking order sales, like the timer does it. Like we go to G2 Crowd and look at the grid, you have about 120 CRMs. Yeah, maybe the number has gone up because this is the time I last saw. But there are CRMs which are probably, taking care of all of this. Yes. And it's often that we call it clunky, right? We take Salesforce for example. I mean, they have solved some bit of it. It's not aesthetically beautiful, or it's not very, we think of it as not very user-friendly. In some sense, they have been able to do, but that's just one of them. There are so many other CRMs which are trying to crack one bit of it and do well. No, I think, you bring a point, right? See, the example of Salesforce is a very good example, right? Provided you have deep pockets, you are an enterprise customer who can basically connect all the dots, which means that you use Salesforce Sales Cloud, along with it use the Service Cloud, then you use the Support Cloud, then the Marketing Cloud. If you are having that kind of a deep pocket and get a service provider to help you build all of them as a customer 360, then you probably have a good chance to get everything together. So now take a look at a small business, right? Yeah. Who's running an online store, or who's basically doing a florist selling online, right? Yeah. How do they basically get this? So there are a lot of CRMs out of the market, hundreds of them, who claim they've been for a SMB. Correct? But the problem is that I think if you look at what Jason also says, everybody has contacts, everybody has pipeline, everybody has conversation information, but they have lost the sense of having customer in the center, right? That's the problem. So doesn't mean there's no CRM out there which is not doing any of these things? Probably.
Well, absolutely. I think that brings me to the next part of this. So in order to build that, right? You can't build, like Rome wasn't built in a day. You can't build this CRM, right? You have to go over the iterations for one thing at a time. But the faster way to get there is integrations, right? Yes. Because now there are multiple software, especially in the SaaS world, right? Every software, there is something or the other that is available.
There's one for billing, there's one for everything, all of that. You can just give a stack of 25 tools used by
SaaS, and everything, right? and it all comes together. So I could be using, instead of a CRM for the complete term of it, I could be using a prospecting software. Yeah. I could be using, prospecting plus deals kind of software. Right? Then let's call that the sales automation, where you're looking only at the pipeline. Then I'm looking at a customer support software where I know what the customer is doing. Correct. Then I'm looking at retaining the customer. So I'm looking at a customer success software. Then probably, there are a whole bunch of, they have to send emails. So I'm looking at a marketing automation software. Correct. I also feel, Sri, is you cannot integrate everything into one that easily. A customer ID in one area is very different from a customer ID in something else, getting that at the basic level of integration. The second level is the adoption that you rightly said as well, right? Now, I'm also selling there's no one team only selling for your company, right? You have your own, you have distributors in terms of, you have your partners, you have your system integrators, you have, that's in case of software, in case of retail, you have distribution channels. Now, it's not literally possible for everyone to be using the same software. Because a distributor could be selling multiple products. One of them could be the products of yours. So they could have a distribution software or a CRM software for multiple products. And they don't care about what marketing email is going. So there is a twofold problem over here. One is adoption that you rightly said, that everyone in the ecosystem should be using. And the second is integrations. If you have to solve for both of them, the cost of the CRM is going to be extremely high, and therefore the usage comes down. So we're literally then getting into the whole realm of horizontal CRM, building a horizontal CRM at what's well versus a vertical CRM.
And there is some of the problems what we're talking about also has been reasonably solved in vertical CRMs, right? But it becomes very industry specific,
yes,
right? I'll also tell you why there's also present an opportunity, also new opportunity. Even though it's an old problem, there's a new opportunity to be solved. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
But just getting into this vertical CRM, yes, vertical CRMs has been a solution when they are vertical centric. For example, you might be looking at a banking, the banking, if you go to a bank, if you, let's say, go walk here to one of the largest bank in India, you would find them using the person who's, who's on the teller, you are basically having on a counter who's actually selling the insurance, or anybody who's walking into your home and selling some other product will all have the same CRM because it's a vertical CRM, and it's built for a specific industry. It's very niche.
Yeah.
If you're a niche, kind of a market, then you have to go into the large ticket size. So the opportunity is there for niche CRM builders, right? But it's only for a few people. In each vertical, you can have a bunch of them, right? But the irony here is this, right? On the other side, on the flip side, if you take a generic CRM, there are 400,000, hundreds of them, right? Hundreds of them, but still they have not effectively solved the problem.
But do you think it can ever be solved?
It could be solved now, because I'll tell you why. Because in the past, some of the CRMs have been built in the last, let's say, 10, 15 years, where the tech is not as advanced as what is today. Okay, today we have solved it by integration. If you look at the they all emphasize on integrations.
Yeah.
But today with Gen AI on top of it, these problems can be solved in much, much better way, right? You would need a CRM with this Gen AI powered, which can infer this, which can basically understand your customer conversation across the board, right? And then be able to, respond to it. It is not about...
Give me an example of how this Gen AI can be, using Gen AI, we can solve this.
So imagine a scenario where, you log into a CRM.
Yeah.
What you're used to seeing, Ramesh, from your all the CRMs, right? From the Google days to even before that, you are used to seeing a glorified version of an Excel sheet.
Correct.
In every CRM you have logged out, you basically will have a glorified Excel sheet.
Yep.
But imagine a CRM which is basically something similar to, a ChatGPT, where you log in and you ask for, hey, can I tell me, about the meetings I have to basically attend today? Or imagine a CRM which basically sends you WhatsApp message saying that, hey, these are the 5 meetings you have today. And you can start chatting with it. Hey, tell me what I should talk to them.
That's the interface, the user interface. But what happens
under the hood? Yeah. It is all going to be centralized. It doesn't matter what your, the support ticket, the tool is. If you're meeting John and he had raised a support ticket, you should be able to get that in your summary right away. So that is what I call as the customer-centric CRM.
Not sure how many of you have seen the Rabbit interface.
Yes.
She is just trying to pull out a CRM out of literally a rabbit out of the hat. So in this case,
something similar to that.
Yeah.
I mean, see, what I can see, what gets me excited about this whole tweet from Jason is that even after hundreds of CRM coming into existence, right?
Yeah,
there is still opportunity for us to revisit. And there is no better time than now, because there is this whole tech change happening. What was not possible a couple of years back is possible now, right? I've been through this journey where in the past we tried to build, an ML AI module just to find or just to prioritize a particular lead which comes in, or prioritize a deal which will close. Used to take like a couple of years to build, something AI. But today that's not the case. Some of these things are already being pre-built. We just have to pick up the right model, right infrastructure, but you'll be able to generate these insights. So, and these insights all will be around customer, right? That is the whole thing. So what I'm saying is that we will not go change every customer-facing role software. They will let them use the same software they continue to use, But what we will have to change is to change the way you look at CRM, right? CRMs will move from becoming a glorified CRM.
Yeah, the characteristics of a CRM is completely changing from the tweet that you're talking about.
Correct. But that is what the problem statement is all about. In fact, it is more about the responses on the tweet or the comments on the tweet, which are basically customers coming and saying that, hey, I'm using CRM which is heavy on prospecting. I'm using CRM which is only for the pipeline. For example, I've been to this as well, right? When there was the kind of rows and columns, as Excel sheet, you build, a table view in your CRM. Then we saw the Trello picking up for task management, Kanban view, and then we said, hey, we'll do deal pipeline view by Kanban. That's how the whole CRM evolved today, right? So, why not evolve into a chat bot interface? I'm just only time can answer the question, but why not have a rapid interface for your CRM?
Yeah, maybe
where you ask of a customer and then it goes, does the magic and comes back and tells you about the customer. Right?
Yeah, I think, well, that it's everything is futuristic and nothing is impossible, as they say. Even I perform of possible very much now, very much, right? So while we're talking about that, let's also talk about innovation in CRM. You spoke about a bit of it. You spoke about the interface changing, everything being a backend. Again, we're talking about something that's probably going to be extremely expensive to build, right?
Yeah.
As compared to an existing CRM with screens, which is catering to one vertical, right?
Yeah.
There are pros and cons of both. Right?
Of course, there's a
in case of a very horizontal CRM, the market is yours.
Very true.
Yeah, right. Versus a vertical CRM, you are specific, industry specific, and you're stuck to it, right? There is no, so there's pros and cons of both. But where is the innovation happening these days, right? While we are talking about putting the customer right in the center and then working around it, where is the innovation? One is, looking at AI. Yes,
definitely looking at AI is definitely a step forward, right?
Is definitely a step forward. In terms of screens, are you looking at something like it? You spoke up very interestingly about saying how it can be integrated to your WhatsApp. Yes. That could be another innovation. Very simple, but innovation doesn't have to be meant to it, right? Very, very simple in kind of notifying, hey, this is the next meeting coming up. Do you want to tell the customer what you're talking about? Again, it is because you have the ability to chat with the customer as well very fast, right? So that's what other innovations do you think a CRM like Jason could be thinking right now?
Yeah, I think few things to that, right? One, there will be a AI first CRM or the AI native CRM would start coming in. Or what I mean by that is this, right? Where your customer data would be the center, right? Instead of calling them as integration, you basically would use your LLM models and the AI to really be able to construct that the customer 360, the true customer 360. Very interesting. I can call you so, right? That's what will happen, right? And as a result, what happens is that you basically connect your CRM into basically a different system to use, right? Mm-hmm. And then your CRM will basically have different interfaces, including, of course, the glorified Excel sheet or a Kanban. But there is a good chance that you would move away from those and get into a conversation interface for your CRM, right? That would be the transition on the front end side. That's I give the example, right? Other day I was just talking to somebody, one of our potential prospects. Hey, they mentioned that, hey, now that I'm talking about our lead screener. We are working on a lead screener for the social side, right? We made a conversation with the customers. And remember, the prospect, who is using a typical CRM today, would want us to basically see if you can give them the icebreaker or the conversation starter.
Yeah, right.
The future CRM would solve some of those problems automatically. Right? I know that, hey, John is basically being in a particular market. He's been a professor. He's basically from, let's say, Washington. XYZ, and I also understand his social activity. He had basically posted on LinkedIn. He also had liked a post on Twitter. Now the conversation started would be that, hey, based on those activities, you might even suggest that, hey, do you mind, looking at this particular? I know you being a prof, you might be interested in this particular education. I know you've been playing golf.
Oh wow, that's interesting, right? So I think over here, while she's talking about the innovation that is happening across CRMs, there is also one leap that has been taken over here with the age of AI coming in. Right? Because you spoke about having the competitor edge in every CRM. That it's just lesser and lesser, right? From rows and columns, there's another glorified rows and columns. You probably had more columns.
Correct.
From there, you said Kanban views. You pick it up. Everyone has it right now.
Correct.
Right? So from here, I think in a CRM, it's difficult to maintain a competitive advantage. But something like this, which you don't know what's going under the hood, it's just magical, right? You see a screen, it's magical. Your CRM could be a WhatsApp as well. Like any details that you want to
see, the most important thing, Ramesh, is to just take a step back and realize that you will go back in time and fulfill the purpose of building a CRM, which is basically giving to the system of record of your customer.
That's very important. Yes.
So that is where we will edge towards, and then hopefully the AI and the LLM and every good thing around there will help you go closer to that. That's what I would say.
All the integrations that you're also talking about should be AI first in some sense, right?
Yeah. Just the purpose of integration is to basically get data about your customer, right? Understand your customer better, understand the conversation, understand the support powers from a ticket, understand from a chat, understand from a billing system, if their payment went through, if they have a renewal coming next. Those information is coming in today. But how you use it is different. Now, only when the support person, or let's say an example of a customer success person, makes an attempt to come and look into your CRM and see that, hey, I'm getting in a meeting with the same John tomorrow morning. What should I talk to them? Right? Should I talk to them about a ticket which was resolved yesterday? Or should I talk to them about the renewal coming? Is dependent on the sales rep or the customer person.
Very beautifully put.
He or she should have the interest, right? Only then they could leverage a CRM today. The future CRM would basically be in your form factor, or you could probably use a rabbit and ask a question, and I'm going to meet rabbits. Tell me what should I talk to, right?
Interesting, very interesting. Plausible. Well, definitely plausible, right? So, coming to this, right? How many of them would have the ability to take? So we are also thinking about vertical CRMs. Extremely, the market is fixed.
Yeah.
Like take an airline software or hospital software or
niche
real estate software. Yeah, they have their market, right? And within that, that's their TAM, right? All the hospitals in the world could be the TAM for a patient management system or hospital management system. But if you are building now this horizontal CRM, the promise of the CRM that is still not bigger. How is the cost going up? Because now CRMs are $9 a user, $10 a user, right? To that, and if you have to build these integrations behind it, make it super smart, available enough, do you think the cost of it, like the cost of ownership of a CRM is going to be so high that you'd rather keep everything in Excel? How do you look at that shit?
No, I think, even today, if you go ask anybody who's using a CRM, people who are paying $9, $10, $19, I would say 1 in every 2% sales rep would still have an Excel sheet hidden in their laptops, right? That's where they run their pipeline.
Yeah, because absolutely. Why would they pay for something?
The company in the business still pays them for subscription elsewhere. That's the way it works. So having said that, if you could make the sales reps' life easier, or for the matter any customer success or any customer facing person's life easier and more productive, I think they will need to pay for more. Right? And not only that, once you hit the scale, I think the cost will come down, right? And I don't think it's not a cost play in general, right?
Really? Why do you say that?
Because otherwise, why would Salesforce, grow at that rate? And how big is Salesforce? And they don't have.
Again, that's perceived to be more enterprises, right? Which have the ability to pay. Like probably the Fortune 500 companies, all of them are Salesforce.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you have to,
we'll have to figure it out. See, with
Fortune 5,000.
With AI being commoditized by players like OpenAI, right? Cost might not really go super high, but it's still need to be figured out, right? I mean, I don't know if you can $9. But
$9 still be a reality too. We want
no idea. Possible, but I don't know if that's feasible. But end of the day, it's not like something which you want to drastically change from what you're doing today. But the approach is different, right? Instead of a Kanban view, see, the Kanban view basically became more popular when you were looking at Excel sheet. Now, instead of Kanban view, there will be a different view, which is more customer-centric, right? That's the only difference. How much of cost is going to increase? Most of the CRMs claim they are AI as well. So they are spending money on the AI and infra and everything.
Absolutely. I think
so. Yeah.
You'll have to wait and see.
You'll have to see what.
But I'm hoping that high performance costs are kept low so that we can provide them at a Max, about 4 customers. So you just heard it from Sri on the future of CRM. You heard it from, the biggest opportunities that lies ahead. Right? Very truly speaking, someone like a Jason Fried, who's already been in industry building SaaS products in the last a couple of decades at least, is now still thinking about dropping a hint about building a CRM. The opportunity is wide and open for anyone to come and build a CRM that actually solves a problem of putting the customer at the center, rather than looking at a pipeline review.
Correct. Right? And I'll also give you another example, right? It's the same problem of what is presented in the space of trying to book your time, which is nothing but the calendar.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? There are multiple products there.
I mean, Google has made it,
multiple products. They made it free. It's available in Calendly. But even today, as early as recent as last week or last couple of weeks, the Jason Fried, they basically released a Calendly product.
Yeah.
Notion has released the Calendly product.
Yeah.
They're all trying to simplify it because end of the day, you're trying to...
They release a calendar themselves.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, what are the Jason?
Yeah, that's right.
They have basically released a calendar. So which means that they're trying to relook at how, you manage time. End of the day, time is very essential. So some of these are very fundamental rounds. You will see new products coming in, how the tech gets better. Of course, there are definitely simplified things there. If you look at the new Hey calendar, now I'm becoming a fan of that. So it's a different view. It's like your timeline. It's like a stream, right? How you approach time is different.
Calendar as a CRM.
Right. So, things are evolving there. There's an opportunity to revisit what's built in the last 10, 15 years. Same thing is happening here.
Technology.
I will not be surprised even if Jason respins the high rise into a new CRM, right? For all you know.
All right. So those are, talking about the future of CRM. We delved into a lot of nuances of putting the customer at the center of any system of record software. CRM is one of them, and I think there is opportunity for everyone to build one. I am wishing everyone. On that note, I'm not going to leave you that easily before we get on. So this time it's your turn to answer a few questions to get to level so that people can get to know about more of the fears and auditors. So here's the rapid fire round at High Performer. This is for Sri. Okay, I'm going to ask the 3 questions before you start looking at it. The first one, we are building High Performer, so it has to be about High Performer. So if High Performer is had a superpower, what would it be?
I think reading a customer minds would be the power. At least I wish that would be the case. Why? So that we know what customer has, and maybe it's a CRM which is telepathic in nature.
So how am I thinking about it? Like, okay, I read Srivatsan as a customer's name, and I probably know he's from south of India, so let me start sending an email about...
Yeah, you start thinking about what he's thinking,
Okay. All right. So Superfarm will start mind reading your customer.
The CRM would read your mind.
I don't know if that's literally possible. Superhero indeed. Only a superhero. Okay. Back to High Performer's office. Okay. If pets were to be allowed, like we're also debating, how can we allow pets to be at the High Performer office if it's feasible? And there's this debate going on. Cancer dogs.
I would prefer a dog.
It's just being biased. But why?
It's the way. It's just personal thing. There's nothing wrong about cats, but I would say dog is more team player. Cat is more solo, independent types. More and like at the stage we are in, I would get a team player.
Very interestingly, Google had their CTO back in the day, and he had a dog called Mishka, if I remember right. And Mishka had an employee ID.
Wow.
She passed away later, but Google was known to be a dog company in the case.
And I'll get voice for that. That is my name of my dog.
Right. So yeah, cat dog is here. And the third thing, what's the most weirdest dream if you ever had about High Performer?
I think...
But don't tell me you really had a dream.
I just go back a couple of months back when we had the Chennai rain. So just woke up the day up. I felt very weird. I thought maybe we just lost all our customer data.
Because of the office flooding?
That's like... I mean, I just, worrying.
Talk about cloud software and talk about everything's being under the hood.
Yeah, but it's just, just happening every year. And
That is weird.
that was the weirdest of all. We're losing customer data.
Customers were all in files.
Everything just getting flushed
the beach.
Yeah, with all the Instagram reels and shorts of the YouTube, you see like water getting in, there's a paper stuff, all of the stuff.
That is weird.
That's the weird part.
Okay, so you really had a weird dream. Okay, so
That's
for a cloud software. With that, this brings us to the end of yet another episode of Session
fun.
Zero. This was fun indeed, and thanks to you, Sri, for sharing your views on.
Yeah, I think love to see what you guys think on the future of CRM.
Yeah, that should be interesting. So please drop in your comments.
Yes.
On what you think is the future of CRMs. How do you think it's going to be? And that'll be interesting. With that, thank you and have a good rest of the week.
Wow, awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Amit.